Don Charles, great to see you, my friend.
Likewise. Always a pleasure to see you, Dev.
Thank you. Thanks for having us here. This is quite the facility. The farm is creating a beast in Daniel Dubois, it looks like.
Correct. I mean, I'm sure you've seen the outside of this gym. Normally we go abroad to do camp, and we opted to stay home, and we devised something that this could be anywhere in the world, this environment, this gym. So yeah, it's really perfect for our requirements.
He looks great, by the way, just seeing him today, speaking with him, seeing how he is with you, interacting with you and the team. He did an ollie shuffle in there as well. He's having fun, he's enjoying it.
It's honestly, he's having, you know, some people can go introverted, you know, some fighters, there's so much pressure. But what's happened with this camp, he's gone the other way. It's serious, it's a very serious camp. But you saw moments like that where he would do something like that. He's been doing that consistently all throughout camp. So that tells me he's in a good place.
And what about you, Don? How are you finding this chapter of your career now? You are now the trainer of a world heavyweight champion, something I'm sure you've always wanted to be.
20 years, yeah. 20 years to be able to train a world champion. I've had attempts previous, not with Daniel, with the exception of the Usyk fight, but prior to that, I've had attempts in trying to win and finally 20 years has taken me to produce one heavyweight world champion. And I can't tell you, for this, my age, it's calm, because I would start to question, will it come, will it come? I'm 63 next birthday, and God is great, the planet is great, and we've done it. But winning it is good, but it's to keep it. That's what we're after, keep it.
How does this compare to your early days with like Derek Chisora, and you know, he challenged for a world title, he was out there against Klitschko, that's happened before, big fights with David Haye. You're now in this new era with this young buck who has become champion, hard fight after hard fight after hard fight. He's going through a journey himself as well. How does this kind of chapter of your career compare to the Chisora chapter?
Well, if you then collate all the experience I'd gathered along the journey with Chisora, whom I owe him a lot. I did that journey with Derek, and I've gathered, like I said, and so much experience, which served me really well now to be able to facilitate and aid my current champion, Daniel Dubois, to be able to. He's already achieved, but like I said, the aim is to keep the belt.
How did you gain his trust?
Through being an honest human being. I tell him bare facts. Some people are very insecure, some people, every human being is different. So if you tell people the truth will set you free for a start, and they'll start to realize that you're an honest person. And yeah, it's gained over, the trust is earned. We've only been together just over 12 months. And what we've done in that 12 months, my actions, my speech, when I talk to him, of course there has to, and when he first came to start working together with myself, and one funny issue, bring the word trust, one of the things I said to him, I need you to trust me. We were actually in Spain in camp. I said, do you trust me? He didn't answer. I said, Daniel, I looked him in the eyes, I found his face. I said, I need you to trust me. Do you hear me? He said, yeah. And that was it. And obviously his father is very close. He's very close with his father, like he should be. And his father would also recognize, I'm a natural father, I have a son of my own. So there's, you can compare that of the way I am to him. I'm not his biological father, obviously, but the way my approach is also that of a father. Yeah, so yeah, he can relate to the way I speak to him.
And his father, very much, obviously, part of this. I remember seeing him when he first signed with Queensberry. His father was there, and very much has been there every step of the way.
Most definitely, yeah.
And I guess you've harnessed it. Talk to me about that. Because literally we're seeing him in the corner now. Correct. On fight night as Correct. Part of it. How's Correct. That process all going?
What I've done is I've recognized that the relationship Daniel has with his father, first and foremost, I recognize that. I decided to bring the father closer. I won't go into details, but I recognize this young man is very, very tight with his father. Remember, his father's been there from day one. He's the one who drives him to all the shows as an amateur. And he knows boxing. The man knows boxing. It's not just an ordinary dad. All his children's box. Yeah? And so he's seen a lot over the years. He would have gathered by watching live boxing, all around the country. Yeah? His children boxing, the opponents. Mm-hmm. So you pick up information. So he's got a good eye knowing what's right and what's wrong in a boxing ring. So we brought the father closer, and that's part of why we're getting the best of Daniel Dubois.
And we saw that against Filip Hrgović.
Yeah. We're getting, including Usyk. People don't talk about that fight. I'm not here today to talk about that. I'm sure you're not. People forget that the fight he still gave Usyk his hardest fight out of all the Brits that's fought Usyk. What has Daniel done that none of them managed to do? He floored Usyk. A proper flooring, but politics comes into it where they call it an illegitimate punch. We said it's legitimate, okay? But God has ways. God don't make mistakes. There's a reason why we were denied that by the universe. There's a reason, which that reason has brought us to where we are today. He's a current, if I can point to that, current IBF heavyweight world champion, all right? So as humans, when things don't go your way, you question why? I'm a God-fearing man. I ask my God, why? God said, young man, the answer will come later. That's the answer right there on the wall. Yeah? Right. So where we are today, he's the current IBF world champion. And like I said, the father's inclusion, the father is now actually in the corner, not inside the ring. I'm still the chief coach to give the instructions, but the father is there. There's a lot of reasons the father is there. It's not just a boxing coaching thing where he shouts out instructions. His presence, his voice, the tone of his voice, Daniel recognizes it, especially when it's hard in there. He hears that voice that he's familiar with from being a child, and he gets that extra gear. It's almost like a Formula One car. You put it into another gear.
I love that.
Yeah? And then that's got to be a gain, irrespective of what people say. People will always have their opinion. It's working for us, and it's going to carry on working. On the 21st, you will see it. The audience will see it.
I can't wait for this fight, by the way. And with Anthony Joshua, he's a guy that you know well. I've heard you tell the story. I guess you can tell me as much as you want to tell me.
Yeah, I never expand. I will tell you, it's no secret now. People have said it time and time. Yes, I do know Anthony Joshua very, very well. We did work together in a very earlier on in his career, boxing career, amateur career. I was very, very instrumental earlier on, and up to the Olympics and post-Olympics. And I won't go into details what happened, and then we went our ways. And it's really strange how the universe has it, because no one saw this coming, that somebody whom I'm training a heavyweight will be fighting Anthony Joshua. And I don't think, if you ask Joshua, I don't think he saw this coming. It wasn't meant to be this way. It wasn't. Yeah, because going into let's say the Hrgović fight, their plans wasn't to fight Daniel Dubois. Joshua's plans, it would have been maybe Fury to come through, Wilder to come through. He didn't, and certainly in their opinion, Hrgović is going to beat Daniel Dubois and come through. I believe when they booked Wembley, they didn't have Daniel Dubois in mind, that he would be the one, as they say in boxing, last man standing. Literally, he was the last man standing. Hence why they snookered themselves. I don't believe that Anthony Joshua and Eddie Hearn woke up one morning and said, oh, we'll go and fight Daniel Dubois. No, they did not.
Do you think your presence in Dubois' camp should be a concern for Anthony Joshua?
Yeah.
Is it? Do you think it is a concern over there?
Big concern, because I would be if I was in his shoes. I'd be very, very concerned, because when I say I'm not God, but I know his boxing DNA, I helped to put that together. And I know his mindset.
Well, if you help to put it together, you could
I
probably
know how to dismantle it or to affect it. We're not just banking on that. That's not good enough. It's gains, it's elements. Yeah? Daniel's got to go in there and carry out the game plan. Like I said, I don't actually want to talk too much leading up to this fight, because two reasons. I'm not the one who gets in the ring when that bell rings. I get out. The fighter stays in. So less talking, more action. Yeah, but I truly believe this is destiny. Like I said, I keep reiterating, there's a reason why I keep going back. I don't believe Eddie Hearn and Anthony Joshua woke up and said, you know what, we got it. We're going to go and fight Daniel Dubois. No, they did not. It's a fight they found themselves in. And they want to win become a 3-time world champion. And Daniel happens to be the one holding the belt.
In terms of the fights that you've prepared Daniel for, so Usyk at pretty short notice, you guys came together, suddenly you were fighting Usyk out in Poland, very daunting, but that was the first one.
Yeah.
Second one, Miller, third, Hrgović, and now Anthony Joshua. Which is the hardest to prepare for, or which is the easiest?
Right, there is no such thing as easiest. More complicated was Usyk because of the southpaw stance. It's a trickier fight to prepare for. This Anthony Joshua is going to be the hardest one. I also alluded to the fact that fighting Hrgović was the hardest one to date. But we've done that, won that in good style. Anthony Joshua's against Daniel Dubois becomes Daniel Dubois' hardest fight. He's a 2-time world champion, Olympic gold medalist, a tremendous puncher. Yeah, it's real. This is real. It doesn't get more real than this. It's real danger. But we believe Daniel's got what it takes to beat him.
96,000 people at Wembley
Wow.
Stadium. It sounds like too good to be true, but it's happening, Don. Have you taken a moment to kind of take that in, that Daniel's heading into this lion's den of 96,000 people against AJ?
Yeah, you know, AJ has to also walk through to 96,000 people, yeah, on the night. Will Daniel be fazed by that? No, he's never been fazed in the past, and he's not going to start. He went all the way to Poland to face Usyk. That was 43,000 people, and he's fought in front of, although he wasn't the headliner at Tottenham Hotspur Ground, my team, that was 63,000 people. Chisora Fury, that was 63,000 people. And no, Daniel is not one of those fighters that the type of, he thrives off that, he does.
He also seems to be picking up top level experience that I don't think anyone else is doing that at his age, 25, 26, 27.
Exactly, yeah.
Usyk, Hrgović, Miller, Dubois, Joshua.
Tell me, Dev, what other heavyweight in the world, the resume, in the last 12 months, this is going to be his 4th fight, arguably, well, it's just over 12 months, 14 months. What other heavyweight, starting with the Usyk, then Miller, then Hrgović, now AJ, after he wins this fight, remarkable.
And I guess the other thing with that is people are talking about, he's a world champion. He won it in a way where it wasn't on the line that night. And some are questioning, should have been, right?
Yeah, but it wasn't.
Some are questioning the legitimacy of it.
They can question it as long as they want. It's not the first time in history it's happened. Riddick Bowe, I remember, dropping, I can't remember if it was a WBC, correct me, into the bin.
Yeah.
And was it Lennox Lewis that took it from?
Lennox fought for a vacant world title.
Correct. So, and by any means necessary, we're not the governing bodies. they said it was going to be for the belt. Ask Filip Hrgović, because Filip Hrgović has been waiting for 3 years to fight for that belt. So they promised him. The reason he took the fight against Daniel Dubois, because he believed that it was for the belt. Then a couple of days before, in literally 48 hours, is when they said no, it wasn't for the full belt. Then they threw in the interim belt, which whoever wins, Hrgović being mandatory for the last 3 years, whoever wins becomes mandatory. So Daniel Dubois won, and he became mandatory, won the interim belt. Then they promoted it to it's not the first time in history it's happened. It's not going to be the last. So by any means necessary. And but we've trained. Daniel Dubois is a champion, but we've trained with a challenger's mentality. Okay, challenger's mentality. Although he's the champion, all throughout this camp, I keep reminding myself by looking at that poster. Yeah, he knows he's the world champion. We know we are the world champion team, but we've trained with the hunger of a challenger. Our approach has been that of a challenger.
How has he changed in the last 4 fights?
It's evolution. It's about putting layers. It's up to me, the coach, and the team to put layers, things that we know we need to improve on, and it's layers. And understanding, his understanding has grown. The ethos of our coaching, the boxing, the type of style I want him to do, is molding it to try and get it as perfect as we can. And we are doing good. We're not doing bad. Look, we're sitting here, we're not doing bad. And we have to obviously acknowledge Frank Warren, the master, master chess player. He knows how to move his pieces. And look at that. Lost against Usyk. In fact, let's take it back. Lost against Joe Joyce, and look at that. From there, he tracked his. And it's not just bringing these opportunities. You have to seize them. Frank has delivered, and the fighter has also delivered. So it takes two to tango.
Well, talking about moving pieces, what did you make of the table? Joshua, Daniel, Frank, Eddie. What did you make of all of that? Have you seen all of it yet?
The honest truth is that I've only seen clips, because I don't spend my time. I stay away from the internet. I'm old school. Yeah, I'm old school. People tell me things. I get to hear things, but to go, no, that's not for me.
But you've seen that.
I've seen clips.
Right?
I've seen clips. I spend my time more trying to get what I'm doing with Daniel. That's where my time is invested. Yeah, of course I will. Is it out?
Yeah, the full thing's out. But again, the clip that has been out for some time is the altercation where Anthony Joshua stood up, I'll smash this chair across your face.
And that's not Joshua. That's very uncharacteristic of him. And that, again, like I said, I didn't go to uni to study human psychology or behavior, body language. That's totally out of character for Joshua. When was the last time you saw Joshua threatening to pick up a stool? That's threatening behavior. You could get done for that. It is.
So what do you think that was then?
That's just, it doesn't like the vibe or the energy of Daniel Dubois, period.
He said, don't disrespect me.
Over what? Don't disrespect. Let's break it down. Don't disrespect me over what? How did Daniel Dubois disrespect him? He said, by calling me out. That, if you watch the whole sentence, he said, I don't take disrespect lightly. Don't disrespect me by calling me out. So calling you out is disrespecting you. How? Every fighter calls every fighter. I'm sure AJ's called people out in the past. I'd like to fight so and so. That is calling someone out. Right? So, to me, looking at the body language, facial expressions, it doesn't, because what it was with Daniel, the energy he gives off, has always given off. If you look at the Baby Miller build-up, if you look at the Hrgović build-up, they say, oh, Baby Miller, I'm gonna fry you, shrimp, I'm gonna cook you, this and that. Do you see that Daniel Dubois' face? No, he's not phased at all. Hrgović, oh, you're just a baby, I'm gonna beat you, you're gonna quit, you're gonna cry, da 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 da. Look what happened to him. Daniel broke his heart, took his spirit, snatched it, and broke his heart. Yeah?
Can he break AJ's heart?
Most definitely, that's the intentions. He's at his prime, in the sense prime of he's 26 years old. Every man, the young man behind the camera, the other young man behind the camera, yeah, every one of us, when we were 26, I was once upon a time 26. I know
Don't
how
look
I
much
felt.
older now, though.
Yeah, 63 to be precise, next birthday. I was once, and I was at my top, my physical best, yeah? And that's what you're seeing. And AJ was once upon a time 26. He's 35 next birthday, I believe.
October.
Yeah. So there's a lot of difference. These all things are factors. They're all factors. They're all factors.
You said Hrgovic was arrogant heading into the fight.
Very arrogant.
Is Anthony Joshua arrogant?
No, AJ is not arrogant. He's not that way. That's not his makeup. Yeah. What he is obviously, I'm not expecting him not to be confident. He's very confident based on his achievements. Yeah, I mean, this guy has transcended boxing. I mean, we are sitting here. I'm very proud. I've got notes I've written him in the past, texts. Yeah? The kid that stopped me in the street to ask for my help 12 years ago is changed boxing as we know it. Yeah? Every Tom, Dick, and every 200 meters in any corner of England, there is a boxing gym springing up. Why? Anthony Joshua. Yeah? So he's a very confident young man based on a lot of factors, what he's achieved, yeah? But what happens, what comes with all that, is that suddenly you get all these hangers on. It happens to every champion of the past. You suddenly find all these people around you who will not tell you the truth because they're scared of their paycheck. I'm not in their camp. If I was to plant a camera in that camp, I can tell you exactly what's going on. Yeah? People telling him how great he is. They're too scared to correct him because, like I said, they're worried about their paycheck. So you will never really know. You will never really know as the champion. So I do feel for him in a way, but not for this fight. This fight, although I know him really well, I really do. He knows me very well. But unfortunately, as I said, this is strictly business. He'll be feeling the same way, but it's strictly business. It really is.
It's amazing your story with him, and now you're kind of...
If I expanded, I won't expand today, but another day.
It's like you're writing, you're in the next chapter of his story. Either way, you know, win, you've got Daniel Dubois.
We're going to win. Losing has never been an option. It's certainly not going to start now. It's a win. I feel it. I know. I'm not God, but there are signs. There are signs. All the signs points to victory.
Just a word on Derek Chisora. Your old pal picked up a big win.
Very proud of him.
Over Joe Joyce. That was amazing, right?
Absolutely. At this stage of his career, come on. Yeah, come on, Del boy. Del boy.
He's not going anywhere, is he?
Not in a look. His public knowledge. He said he wants to reach 50 fights. He told me so. He's done 48, so he has 2 more fights. Okay, and just got to be very selective of who he fights next, and then get that 50th fight. It'll be nice.
Just proud watching him do his thing out there.
And I hope they can throw like the regular, like I think it was Mano Char that had it last. You know the
WBA regular.
Yeah, I hope they can. Either the next fight or the 50th, to throw that in for him to walk away from boxing. He was a world champion. Okay, it's a regular belt, but it's a world champion.
Very much a boxing legend, as are Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk. Of course, you watched their first fight. How do you see the second one going?
Again, not because I've got any reasons to be biased. I'm just purely talking boxing. Usyk was successful in the first encounter. An exceptional boxer, that's not in question, yeah? Genius. Yeah, he's not the biggest. Yet again, he's outfoxing everyone, outmaneuvering everybody, and he's blessed. He's, do you know what I mean? But he's still a cheat against us. How do I see the second fight with Fury going? I believe Fury is going to go back to the drawing board and rectify the mistakes he made. Because at some points during that fight, he was coasting, cruising.
Those middle rounds.
And I think he took his... something happened where, could I call it complacency or what? I don't know. Only he could tell you where he took his foot off the gas And you could actually say that he's lucky not to have got stopped in the 9th round. Some referees would have jumped in and stopped that, and nobody would argue, nor would Fury. So it was a close fight, despite that 9th round. The fact that he was allowed to carry on and he completed it, the full 12 rounds. So it was a very close fought fight. And I think in the second fight, Fury will adjust a few things and use his size. He never used his size at all in that fight. So to my surprise, because I thought that would have been his game plan, to do what he does, use his size, lean, tie up, spoil, smother, but hey, I'm not in his camp, and I believe they're going to the whole camp, his camp. They're experienced enough to be able to do some tweaks to for them to be victorious.
Final one, Don. I'm going to start a sentence and you're going to finish it. So Daniel Dubois beats Anthony Joshua on September 21st
because he is chosen, he's born to do this. Then when it comes to the actual boxing itself, his jab, he's got a tremendous jab. And the will and the desire, I believe at this point of AJ's career and Daniel Dubois' career, I believe at this point, he's got more will. His will overcome anything he's going to face in there.
Pleasure. Thank you for having us, Don. Top
Thank
man.
you for having me.